Good morning, everyone, and I'll try and keep this video brief because otherwise it will get too dull even for the dullness levels which I enjoy. So this is Operation Red Duck Part 4. Now the plans have been configured, the units allocated and required have been identified, the plans have been given feedback and adjusted. And now it's the time of the planners to get to work. So when a military or when a political decision is made to strike something, in this case, Dar El Malmesha Air Base and S-300 site here and the S-300 site here, to take out the Tu-22s which are attacking global shipping on the southern route, the mission has to be converted into plans. Now, in NATO speak, this would be done by air tasking orders and the planning departments, and there's various resources available for those. Now, Malmesha is non-aligned, so they do things slightly differently, but they still have to work out when you need each aircraft in each position and when you need to be striking this target and that target. So are you going to be striking simultaneously, which will give you the best form of surprise, or are you going to be striking with a short time delay? Now, in this case, there will be a time delay. The S-300 site here, and if this one intervenes here, will be struck first, and then Dar El Malmesha Air Base and the S-300 site up here will be whacked. So the idea is that it's drawing Malmeshan air defences, including the Sukhoi Su-35s and their MiG-29s south. But all of this requires logistics, and that's what the planners do, because the Super Angry Butterfly drones have a much slower speed to target than the J-10s, and the Vulcan has a slower speed to target than the Hustlers. The FC-31 has a faster speed to target, and the success of the FC-31s needs to be tied in with the operations of the J-10s and of the Hustler and the Vulcan, which is going to deliver the knockout blow. So all of that has to be planned, and your fuel loads have to be calculated. Refueling tankers have to be prepared and put on their tracks. You need the support from the G550E electronic warfare aircraft, one here and one up here above the Seychelles. And another refueling tanker track here. So all of that has to be calculated. The timings have to be worked out. The aircraft need to be allocated their waypoints, their initial points, and their release points for the weapons. So a lot of nuts and bolts, if you like, that make the operation successful. And if these calculations are off or wrong, we have one attack going in exposed without its supporting elements, and that can be devastating for the attack force. So up here, the Vulcan is operating with an Su-34 Wild Weasel, so those operations need to be coordinated carefully. And when the operation is underway, the CASA C-295 AWC, with its Israeli radar, will be orbiting here and may have to change some of the plans on the fly. So all of that needs to be sorted out. Now, the way that I'm going to be doing that is, without getting too detailed, is via mission cards. So here we have the two Hustlers, which are going forwards on the operation. We've got the Wild Weasel Su-34 and the Vulcan, and I'm going to be drawing up what's called mission cards. Now, I don't need to go and plan all the fuel loads. One, I couldn't. Two, even the specs of these aircraft retired. The actual fuel burn, the actual, configurations of the electronic countermeasures is still classified to this day. So this is all very much conjecture. The reason being is, a lot of the stuff like the Su-34 is still in operational service for the Russians, and they're not exactly talking to us. And the weapons, you can say, well, what's the range on the weapon? Well, we know what the range of the weapon is roughly from the internet, but we don't know the launch altitudes and stuff like that. So I'm not going to be getting too detailed because I'm not a military planner. So I'm just going to be drawing up mission cards. So the Hustlers are going to be on call sign Big Dog 1 and Big Dog 2. The fuel loads, I'm just going to leave out, but the weapons is what I'm interested in. So I'll look at, well, what's Big Dog 1 carrying? Big Dog 1 is carrying 4 AGM 154 JSOWs, 1,000-pound warheads, good glide range of around 60 kilometers. And Big Dog 2 is carrying 2 Tomahawks, which will need to be launched earlier, and a Popeye missile, which has a good range on it, so it won't need to get as close as the other Big Dog. And I'll program these in, and I'll come up with these mission cards looking at routes. Again, comms I'm not going to be bothering with. Timings I'm not really going to be bothering with. I'm going to set an overall time for the mission and each wave, and then I'll work out a way of scoring the points. So that's what I'm doing from a wargaming perspective. And as you can see, if you're actually doing this mission, excuse my son's mess, if you're actually doing this mission for real, the planners would be working out, okay, when do the super angry butterflies need to launch? They'd be issuing warning orders to the units that are responsible for the super angry butterflies. The super angry butterfly units would then have to get the logistics in place, work out the launch sites, camouflage the launch sites, and make sure that all the super angry butterfly systems were checked and operational and good to go. Same with the KC-135s. Once they received the warning order, they'd be preparing the aircraft, maintaining them, checking all the systems and putting their fuel loads on. And all of this has to be done with utmost secrecy, because if Mar Mesha finds out, it could start a massive regional war. So there's a lot that goes on in planning a raid, and I hope this just gives you some flavour of how complicated these things are. So like I said, I'll be doing the mission cards and then working out a scoring system. I hope this video's helped someone, and yeah, this is how complicated wargaming can get.